Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. It's Tuesday. You know what that means. It means that we're here, we're together, and you're all coming on in, which I love. Jocelyn's already here and saying hello. Glad to have you here. You know, last week we were talking about focus. If you remember, what you focus, how you focus your attention. And this week we're going to take that a step further, and we're going to be looking at how we put energy into things that we fear, and we don't put our focus on the things that we want. We qualify our want stuff, and yet we spill out all this fear stuff in manifestos of sorts. Hang in there with me, because it really is going to be something that you're going to look at and go, aha, I see this. I see this. Hey, Lisa, good to have you here. Anyway, the other thing that is so exciting, I have not told anybody about it yet. The only person on this planet that knows about it is Jenny and me and Caroline and Mark and a few others, but not a lot. The point is, we are updating the sprint. Yes, ma'am, we are. Do you know that sprint is 9 years old? It blew me away when I started thinking about it and going through it and everything. I said, how is it that this time went so fast? But it's 9 years old. I created it in 2015, right around the summer of 2015. And I made this small little Facebook group that just blew up, and I was giving it to everybody. And cool beans. It's a smart program. It's an intelligent program that runs according to what your body tells you it wants to do. But it's getting an update. And if you sign up for the Hot Melt Sprint coming out, I'm dropping the seed. We don't have the link yet. I'm dropping the seed. Next sprint could be completely different for you. Completely. Well, not completely, but really close to different. Okay. So I'm just putting it out there, letting you know. So there's that. Sue is in the house. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, stay here stay a little longer so you can get it. I'm just saying. Jackie is in the house. We've got all of our lovelies. Anyway, so that's cool, right? I love that cool stuff. And the other thing that I have to tell you about too is like we have this week's special is something we've never done before, and it is super exciting. And honestly, if you don't get it, my jaw's just going to go slack, because it is one of the most valuable things we've ever done. If you buy Perfect Paleo Protein, there it is. There it is. It's my favorite chocolate. It's really good with coffee, you guys. You get this, you're going to get a free InflaCrusher. It's a $52 value, you guys. $52 for an InflaCrusher. And I think this combination is so good, because what we're doing is we're working on, when we're using our Perfect Paleo Protein, hey, Virginia, when we're using our Perfect Paleo Protein, we are building all of our muscle, our tendons, our cartilage. We're building the matrix in the bone. We're doing all kinds of things. Plus, it's a beauty protein. It's going to be building your hair, your nails, your skin. It's incredible stuff. And then you've got your InflaCrusher that takes out the inflammation. What a great combo. So it's buy one, get one. All you have to do is go to savingdinner.com/show. And that's where you're going to find this deal. When you put this in your cart, you will automatically get this. I knew you'd love that one, Susan. And if you buy 3, if you decide you're going to buy three perfect paleo proteins, you want to get vanilla, chocolate, and unflavored, we're going to send you 3 infant crushers. We're good on those things, right? We take good care of our people. I like when people give me deals. So there you are. Hey, Lynn, in the house. Good to have you here. So that is our deal of the day. Deal of the day, deal of the century, deal of the week, deal, deal, deal. Go get it. The only caveat is this: if we run out, there is no rain check. And supplies are getting a little thin on the chocolate. I'm going to tell you right now. So if you want chocolate, go get it. So you choose your flavor, chocolate, vanilla, or unflavored. And I use them all. So don't ask me which one's better because they all have different purposes in my little life. Hey, Maureen, all the way from down under. Nice to have you here. That said, the supplement of the quote of the week, it's a bombshell. That risk you're afraid to take, it could be the one that changes your entire life. Have you ever thought of it that way? Have we ever thought of it? Oftentimes what we do is we assign a value to a risk, right? We assign a value like, that's too hard. That's for somebody else. I don't know if I can do that. And we're going to be talking about this exact same stuff today. We are exact same stuff today. However, if you kind of get beyond that and say, why not me? Why don't I take this risk? What if this worked out? It could change the entire trajectory of your life. I could tell you story after story after story of doing something in my life that was a little risky and it turned out and just changed everything. That's the joy of risking a little bit, y'all. That's how it works. All right. So let's get down to the nitty gritty and get into the weeds a little bit about some of this stuff because I think you're going to like this show a lot. It all started. I was on TikTok and I was watching Myron Golden. Do you know who he is? Myron Golden is, oh man, he's a combination. He's a life coach. He's a Bible teacher. He's a entrepreneur. He's brilliant, completely brilliant. And he loves to whiteboard stuff. And when he goes, and by the way, you could put Myron Golden and go on a YouTube tunnel if you want, and just go there because his stuff is just so good. His teaching is excellent, all the way around. Anything that you want to learn, but he has an observation how often we declare things that don't matter, but qualify the things that do. And that was a cosmic 2x4 for me because we very much defend our position on something or make this declaration of everything. But this lack of boldness that we have, this lack of boldness stems from a lack of belief, right? It's easy to say, well, I'm going to clean the house today. And you make these declarative statements about what it is that you're going to do. And it's stuff that doesn't matter. But when it comes to something that you really want, a dream that you have, like you're going to start your own business or you're going to lose that weight this time, now and forever, whatever. And you think, well, I'm going to try. I hope I can. You see the difference on that? One is wavering and full of all kinds of uncertainty, and it's the thing you really want, versus the other thing, and who wants to really, really get cleaning on their house, right? I mean, we're very declarative and manifesto-ish even when it comes to things that we know that we're going to do. There's emotion attached to it. There's all kinds of stuff attached to it. But we can take that and fix the focus on it a little bit when it comes to our dreams. So hear me out on this because we're going to go through this whole thing. So how do we shift into this kind of a dynamic? How do we consciously direct our beliefs and our attention? And that's what we're going to be talking about exactly today. So here's what we need to do. The first thing is that we need to recognize and challenge limiting beliefs. And the first thing that I'm going to say to you right now is if you think that you are without a limiting belief, then you are dead wrong. We all have them. We all have them. And oftentimes what we do is we'll argue for them as well, you know? We'll say, "But no, that's just the way I am. That's just I no, I cannot do this because blah blah blah." These are the things that we do. It makes us doubt our abilities. It makes us get into the fear. And this is a huge blind spot. We all have it, some worse than others, some about some big stuff, some about small stuff. It doesn't matter. The fact is that we need to challenge the way that we think about things. We need to challenge everything that we believe. We need to be looking at things and saying, is this really true? Just because you think it does not necessarily mean it's true. That's another cosmic 2x4, by the way. Because we have this perspective and everyone has one, you know, it's kind of like belly buttons and people. Everyone has a perspective and we move through these perspectives because we think that we're right. And that's our confirmation bias with all kinds of stuff, as you know. It's the way we're wired. And, you know, have you heard people say, prove me wrong? Well, you get proved wrong all the time because remember, we're here to do this life excellently, not perfectly, because we can't. We're not wired to be perfect. We're wired to do things to the best of our ability. That's it. That's it. And that's a saving grace right there. That is a gift that we have that. So let's look at that. So how do we start then identifying these limiting beliefs? Because sometimes they're in hiding, by the way. Sometimes they're tucked behind something else that's a conviction or something else or whatever. But we have to look at areas where we're a little bit hesitant, areas where we're feeling stuck, and say, okay, so what is the thing that's holding me back here? What is it? So, you know, it will come to you. If you ask the questions, your reticular activating system is going to go on overdrive looking for the answers. That's one of the cool things about our brains. We're going to talk more about that later, but that's one of the cool things about the way that we operate. So we just need to start asking about these beliefs. Is this a belief that is something that I can, you know, put my money on? Is this something that is absolutely 100% verifiably true? Or is this something that might be true? Or is this something that I have put a limitation on? When we ask ourselves those bone honest questions and we're willing to see, the Bible verse, have eyes to see and ears to hear, that's the call right there. That's the call. And once you identify what this is and you start questioning its validity, you can start then searching for evidence to support something different. What if is a great question to ask yourself. And when I say what if, I'm not saying what if and then a catastrophizing statement, right? What if this did work out? What if I could do X, Y, Z? What if I just blank, blank, blank? Whatever your thing is. These are questions that open the door to possibility, that leak in your potential and that make you see things just a little bit differently. Start to tweak your perspective a little bit. That's golden. That's golden. So the other thing you ask yourself is, what evidence do I have that proves this belief wrong? Now, I do this a lot because sometimes, you know, you get into that negative thing and you go into that downward spiral and blah, 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 blah. But you've got evidence to support that it wasn't always like this, that you have done X and that you have accomplished, you know, A, B, and C. So those are the things that we need to be looking at. It's like what we talked about last week, is where you focus your attention is where your energy is going to go. And the things that you dwell upon, that's your destiny. That's your destiny. So when we replace a limiting belief with, I don't know if I can, it's too hard, it's this, everybody else can, I cannot, whatever the limiting belief is, with I am capable, and you do it in an affirmative way, a present tense way, that becomes an affirmation. And that affirmation can become a mantra. And that mantra can be something that you reprogram your brain with. Because the cool thing about our brains is that they are programmable. And when you understand how your brain works, then things start to shift because you can realize I'm stuck in this thing over here. I don't need to be stuck here. I can leapfrog over to here simply by thinking a different thought, by challenging this thing, by saying that's enough of that, I'm not doing it. Isn't that so? You know what I want you to sense right now is the power you hold, is the power you have to shift things in your brain, because we are not being held prisoner by our thoughts. We're allowing our thoughts to run themselves as if they owned the place, and they don't. They don't. It doesn't have to be that way. Number 2 is you've got to shift your language. Good grief, we all know this, right? When we say things like I'll try or I hope, we are subconsciously expressing doubt. I mean, we all hope for stuff. Every single person on this planet is hopeful for something. Everybody does. But you have to change your language if you want something different. I'll try doesn't work. Emily's in the house. Hello. Good to have you here, Emily. We have to start making bold affirmative statements about our goals and our desires. Bold affirmative statements about our goals and desires instead of the stuff that we can't do or the stuff that we fear. Okay? It's that. Yes. No, try, do. We all know who said that. Yoda. Yoda knows, man. He knows. Instead of saying, I'll try to succeed, say, I am succeeding. You say it in the present tense, you say it with an I am, and you run through the thing with a little bit of emotion attached to it and watch how you feel about it. And as you start to change the way you feel about things, you can start to change the way you think about things. Oh, Mary, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And good to see you, by the way. So we have to speak to the outcome that we want. How about that? We have to speak to the outcome that we want. And, I use this an awful lot. When you're having a baby, it's a process. There's labor involved and it takes a minute. And then there's the pushing. And then, very rarely do you get somebody who just says, oh, I didn't even feel anything. And, oh, look, there's a baby. Wow. No, it doesn't happen that way. There's usually a lot of pain. It usually is protracted and takes a minute. It's usually like, do it again, push again, get that baby out. It takes a minute. But the focus is on the end result, is getting that baby out of your body and born into this world. The same thing goes with your dreams. The same thing goes. It needs to be concentrated on that. When your focus is on that, instead of qualifying it, you are showing up and embodying it. Your words and your thoughts are all there. It understands the assignment. And the alignment assignment is to have it all line up. What you're thinking about, what you're talking about, what your thoughts are, what your opinions are, what your declarations are. All of these things are tells on where you are in your life with what you have and what you want and how you want to get on with it. So when we do this, we are aligning our actions and our thoughts with our intentions. Bam! That's when things really go well. The other thing is that we have to focus on what we want, not what we fear. Because y'all, and I've said this a bazillion times, I'll say it again, no one on this planet walks fear-free. No one. We just have to understand what fear is. We blow fear up into these huge monsters. They are not. We need to bring fear down into a manageable place. When you were a kid and you do the little shadow things and you could make a big dragon, but if you turn off the light, you'll see somebody with their little hands and it's not a big dragon. That's it right there. That's it. Well, that fear was unwarranted. That fear is something that we blew up in our imagination. We all do it. But the fact is, if we have an opportunity to undo it, as well. And to recognize and to see that fear doesn't have to run the show. Fear is just something that we need to live with, but also shrink down into a manageable portion size, if you will. I know that sounds really bizarre, but I spent so much energy on trying to be fearless and couldn't get there till I recognized the fact that I do have these fears. I do have these foibles. It's the way I'm wired. It's kind of in my thing, you know? But it doesn't have to overrun my world. I just need to shrink it down and just like, oh, out of the way. I don't have time for you today. That's why we talk about the fear fence and all of that. But the point is that if we give our attention to our heart's desire, if we give our attention and our focus to the things that we want, I mean, think about it. Those things that we want become affirmations. Those affirmations are declarations. Those declarations are triggering our reticular activating system. Then with the emotion, your limbic system is all triggered up as well, which is part of the memory and creating habits and all of that. I mean, this is how you turn your brain on to work on your behalf. You hear me on that? Because oftentimes we just allow our brains to do whatever they want. We can control them. We can control our thoughts. We can control our actions just as much. It's unbelievable what it is that we can do. And when we start to understand that, well, guess what happens? Things start to radically change and shift in a big way because you recognize the thing that you don't want coming in. And again, one more time bugging you. And all you have to do is just say, not today. This is what I want to focus on. This is what I'm about. We also want to get into the growth mindset. We are limited when we believe we are limited. But if we have a growth mindset, we see things in a whole different way. And for more on that, go watch Carol Dweck's, Dweck. Go watch her. Her presentation, it's a TED Talk, probably one of the biggest TED Talks that they've ever done on mindset, a growth mindset. Go watch it on YouTube. So worth it. Because it'll make you say, aha, if you're not familiar with the whole thing. The other thing is surrounding yourself with positive people. Can I just say, oftentimes we have this notion, and I think it's a weird thing with women. We want to fix and help people a lot. It's our nurturing instinct. And we're around these negative Nellies who are just pulling us down, and we're constantly defending ourselves and putting all our energy toward that. But the fact remains that your environment is way more influential than what it is oftentimes that you're saying to yourself. So if you've got all these people around you that are being completely negative, you got to shut that down and shut it off because it plays a significant role in shaping your beliefs. You'll start believing what they're saying. Oh, you can never do that. That's not for you. What about this? You need a full-time job. I've told you the story about when that one pastor told me that I needed to go work for a H&R Block and to stop this nonsense with the menus, that what was Menu Mailer at the time, what later grew to be Saving Dinner. Told me I needed to stop that nonsense 20-something years ago. And here I am doing this, They would have fired me at H&R Block. They wouldn't want the likes of me there, I'm telling you. They would have said, get the heck out of here. But, we all have to step up to and step into not only our talents, but also our voices about what it is that we want to do. And that means that we need to be very particular with whom we share our dreams. If you know that you have somebody negative in your life and they're going to be telling you what to do and what it is that you shouldn't be doing, blah, 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 then don't share your dreams with them. Share it in a safe place. We have the Hot Melt Sprint group for you. It's online. It's free. It's on Facebook. It's easy to join. And the support there is absolutely unbelievable. You will find that out yourself when you get there. But when we do this, we have people who are sharing in our dream with us. That's more energy on the dream, more energy. We're high vibe people. And if we're going to be vibing at that high level, we need people doing the same thing with us. That's how that rising tide lifts all the boats. Then another thing is to practice gratitude. This is an easy one to do, and I really want to bring this in because so often we just get looking at and just thinking about the scarcity of everything. We don't have this, and look how expensive this grocery is, or look how expensive that is, or whatever it is. But if we shift our focus into the gratitude and just saying, you know what? Yep, expensive groceries, but I am so grateful that I can buy them. I am so grateful that I have them, that I have these groceries that I'm loading into my car, that I get to cook when I get home. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. Gratitude can be dropped in throughout our day. You can go for a walk, taking your dog out for a walk. Well, what are we doing? What's our goal when we're taking our dog out? We want him to poop, right? We want them to do their business. But you can have gratitude about that, but you can also have gratitude about the fact that you're out in nature and start noticing things around you and start noticing what you're surrounded with. Even if you're in the city, look at the beautiful skyline. Whatever it is, we can have gratitude by focusing on the things that we have. I drop it in all over the place. It's in my journal. It's in my meditation. It's in my day. It's in my walk. It's out on the pickleball courts even. It is having that kind of a thread that runs through your life. Gratitude saves your soul. I believe that. Having consistent action, number 7, is how you get your goals done. That's how you get them done. Your belief is reinforced by action. So if you believe that this is something that you can do, like those of you, look at all the people who did so well on their sprint this time. It was so fun to watch everybody. I lost 6 pounds. I lost 1.5 pounds. I did this. I did that. Fantastic. You keep going. And your belief in yourself, in the system, in the camaraderie that you have with the women in this group, what do you think that's all? What do you think that's all doing? It is cultivating the energy to carry you to the next thing, is what it's doing. Allow that to be your flotation device. Allow that to bring you up and offer it to the next person as well. Be a giver as well as a taker. And just absorb all of that. Because when we do this, when we're just working on our goals every single day and doing a little something toward them, you know what? We get to congratulate ourselves. Look what I did today. Look at this high five. High five yourself in the mirror. Give yourself, go out into the hot melt sprint and say, I just did this. And it's not, a little brag here and there, do it. Because it's not that you're this big braggadocious person, and we've all been taught not to brag, not to do this. But I want you to just do, what we're doing is reinforcing that win. That's it. You're reinforcing the win. And everybody who's coming alongside and say, atta girl, they're reinforcing it too. Again, up, floating up, going up. The vibe is high. And then I'm going to get into some affirmation stuff real quick here, because affirmations are, they're gold. They're formed by repetition, right? Your beliefs are formed by repetition, and then changing beliefs in the form of affirmations is making a different declaration, especially when you start it with I am. When you start it with I am, that is declarative, and it's like a manifesto. I am this. It's in the present tense. You feel good about saying I am, because I am, one of the things that I've started doing, by the way, is when I've had to deal with some stuff, because I'm the president of our pickleball club, and I've had to deal with some stuff that hasn't been pleasant. I just tell the person that I'm dealing with, I'm not available for that. And it just shuts the whole thing down. I am is a declaration of what it is that you are doing and what it is that you are about. And as we change the narrative, we're changing and rewiring our brain. When we add emotion to it, we're adding in the limbic system. The limbic system is in charge of your memory, your learning, your new habit formation. And then as you are saying these I ams, and as you are putting them out there, your reticular activating system has now, that button's been pressed. And what do you think it's doing? You are saying, I am successful at every hot milk sprint I ever attempt. So your brain is going to be on top of you, helping you to make your choices, because that's what it knows. It's going to be searching for that kind of evidence, always. So this is your brain loves being told what to do. It does. So if you're going to use these affirmations in your life, get into the weeds, get your goals out, and change your goals into I am statements. Make sure that they are in the positive, that they are in the present, and that they have emotion behind them. If you really want to challenge yourself, get in front of the mirror, not only writing them out in your journal, but saying them out loud and looking yourself in the eye. Because if we're going to change things up, and instead of having to qualify the things that we want, we need to make them declarative, the way that we do with the stuff that we don't want. And when we do that, we change heaven and earth around us. We do. Everything changes. So understand this. If we are intentional about our thoughts, our language, and our actions, everything lines up. But it's your choice on what it's going to be. That's the kicker. And I'm very grateful for not choosing H&R Block 2, Lynn. And I'm grateful you are here. And all of you are here today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, tonight is Tuesday. What do we have tonight? Oh, I know. We have Take Back Your Body tonight. So if you're part of that group, don't forget about tonight's. Check your email. All the stuff is there. And don't forget about the special that we've got going on. I want you on this habit of drinking this stuff. It changes everything. Buy one, get your InflaCrusher $52 value for free. Go to savingdinner.com/show. All right? Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you next week. Bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.